on a module which we have developed, which have OCR and which have AI integration. So, as a business, like in a business or in a company, the main thing is like what if manual data entry stops, right? So, if we go running a business, if we run any company, anything, manual data entry or any like data entry is must, right? So, like let's say if you just woke up in a morning and you get an idea that okay, from today manual data entry is stopped. So what like we will be having lots of questions in mind. We will be having lots of scenarios like how it will be managed, how it will be done. Why? Because in a company, majorly 80% of data are being tracked in documents and are tracked in manual data entry. Right, so if we say like if we are going for recruitment, so we get the candidate CV, we write the details, we like add candidate's name, their skills, their experience. So that is like if we are going for customers, so we are writing down customer name, if we are telling invoice, we are writing down the products, whatever. Like so overall, 80% of the data in the business are tracked in documents. And recently, like with our R&D, we have identified that the data entry basically leads to error and it will lead to lost productivity. Because if you have, let's say if you have to write down 500 of CVs, like candidate, you have received 500 of CVs for candidates and you are writing down into your system. Either it can be Excel sheet or any system. So if you, like let's say you have 5 people who are writing down the data, they are adding the data, so you can imagine how much tedious it is and how much tiny error rates, there will be many error rates and many. So when we combine Udo and when we combine manual entry, so of course Udo is very powerful. We have very much data including we can add and as many of data. So it's not a problem. The problem comes when the team have to write it manually, when they have to do all the data entry manually. So of course, again, it will cause it manual data entry will cause it slow, expensive, and of course error prone. So combining everything, looking out all the issues, we have introduced ScanDoc module. So basically, for us, this module reflects as the end of manual data entry, specifically in Udo. So this module have various sections. So it includes delivery challan, it includes vendor bills, it includes resume, CV parcel as well. So now when we are combining everything and when we are introducing ScanDoc, so our major focus is on removing data entry from any business or any company. So when you are running over a company, when you are running over a business, you have lots of things to handle. You have your staff, you have your customer, you have your suppliers, you have your recruitment thing, many things are going on. So we have came an idea that why not we cut out the data entry part, right? So like in our community, like we are exhibiting in community days as well, and our focus is on next gen of ERP experiences. So ScanDoc is a part of that experience. So let's say if you are running a business, but you should run your business. All the data entries, all the manual data, documentation should be some AI integrated, which can make your work easier, your team work easier, and you can get more productivity. And our core values are like client prioritization. Of course, like if you are focusing on manual data, if you compare it, if you have AI, if you have OCR, which reads out your data on their own, then of course many times saving will be there, right? That will be high quality. Results will be much better comparative. Like if any person is writing down the CV details, like they are adding the candidate details, they are adding the skills. So comparatively, if an AI will write down, AI will read all the details. Of course, there will be almost 2 to 3x data time saving. Now, how ScanDoc works? So basically, ScanDoc works from documents to Udo in seconds, as I mentioned previously. So you just have to install the application, you download the application from an app store. You have to connect it through authentication code, and then you can select those. So right now we have recruitment, delivery challan, and vendor invoice. So basically vendor bills, right? Here, these are our like we have many other things planned, but they are in our next phase. But initially, we have started with recruitment, delivery challan, and vendor invoice. Now, as a feature, what you have to do is you will be getting a scan doc module. You have to just download. Yeah, like you will be having your vendor invoice or candidate series. So you just have to upload the document. AI will date the document. OCR will date the document, and you will get AI extension. So all the fields will be autofilled, all the data will be autofilled, and you will get the final data which you have to just review and you have to save, and it will be saved directly into Uno. Now, we all know how tedious data entry is, right? But now, if we go with Scandor, what values we will deliver? So, of course, we will deliver recruitment agency. So, our focus is on recruitment agency because they are getting tons of CVs. They have to go through tons of CVs. So, rather going it manually, rather going like they are going with experience, they will see skills, they will identify that okay, how the candidate is. Rather doing that, we have this ScanDoc module which will just in seconds, in fractions of seconds, we will get the data filled as well as they will get sentimental analysis. So basically, they will identify that okay, the ScanDoc will identify okay, this particular candidate is 84% matching your skills, or you should hire him like that. So then we have recruitment fee. So when it comes to delivery challan, when it comes to vendor bills, it's quite tedious to write down the details, to map it with the existing PO or anything. But instead, you just have to scan the bill, and not only the normal bill, it can scan handwritten notes as well. So if you are receiving handwritten notes from your vendor, you can use that. Note and you can scan it and it will add the data. Then we have finance teams, of course, because they will also need vendor bills for integration. We are focusing on that. Then we have trading and manufacturing. So when it comes to import-export business, again, vendor bills are tedious work, so we have focused that as well. Now, recruitment is a part, but it's not just the only focus which we are focusing right now. We have many other things, we have many other real world impact which will be reflected, which will be solved by Scandor. So let's say uh, mapping, like with the recruitment phase when it comes to filling the data. So it will be helpful. Then availability of candidates. Okay. Then the final impact, if you see, so let's say there are 20 resumes processing 30 minutes. So it can take two staff to complete it in a day, right? But instead of this, if you go with Scandor, it will reduce 80% of time. So this is not just the data which these are not the numbers which are just running an assumption. We have few customers who have used them, who have tasted them, and then we have got this data. And if you see again the numbers, like there are 2200 resumes manually, which is the time consuming for 4 hours for two staff. But instead, it will be complete. It can be completed in 30 minutes for 200 resumes, and the data will be getting directly. So if we are going with human data and manual entry, then of course that will be delayed. So basically, it will reduce the 4 hours task in 4 minutes. So this is what we are focusing, and this is just for the resume. That this data is from resume, but we are also focusing more. Like in future for our phase two, we are focusing more for delivery. Like right now, we have the beta version of delivery channel, but for future we are focusing more on that. Now this Scandoc when we like use in our daily Urdu, specifically in native Urdu. So it have, if you see, if you have idea, Urdu already have standard OCR, but we have built built this kind of application from getting influence from them, and then we have added some. We have focused more on industry related scenarios. So if you go for resume, for invoices, so this way we are planning to go industry specific rather giving a general solution. So now data validation and mapping. So whenever it comes to AI, so of course it's not like the AI will not make mistakes. AI will make mistakes. But here what we have done is we have trained this AI, stand-up AI in such way that it have all the ideas of Odoo native fields. He knows that okay, this field is this, we have to map this data with this. So when it comes to data validity, it is checking the business rule checks, it is checking the master data across whole Odoo, and it will perform the data validation accordingly. Then let's say there is some mismatch of data which didn't get mapped. So we have defined, like we are in scope and we define that particular data form as well. If this particular data didn't get matched, and these are the reasons. So for future, for user interface, we get more idea, we get more solution, we can get more case cases. Then for authentication, we have direct Odoo REST APIs to call the authentication, and we have webhook here. So basically, it will trigger the Odoo actions and it will import, like after the import is done. So these are the architecture and integration steps. So that for development is telling what architecture we are managing, similarly for security. Now it comes like if we are if we are uploading and scanning the vendor list. So then sometimes vendor bill is a very sensitive data. Comparatively to other data, it's sensitive data. So we have worked on security as well, so that whenever any scanning is done, any data uploading is done, it doesn't harm the customer or vendor security. Now, as I mentioned, we have trained AI data according to Odoo's native fields, Odoo master data. So if we see the accuracy, it's almost 99.7% accurate. And if let's say there are chances that customer might have done some customization, so there can be some field customization or anything. So on that scale, we are getting 95% of accuracy from the scanned of AI. And if we talk about the native structured fields, like no customization, nothing is there. So 99.1 to 99.7% accuracy we are getting with the data. So again, these are the our phase two plan. Like initially, as I mentioned, we have planned for vendor bill, we have planned for resume parcel, we have planned for delivery challenge. But in future, we will be planning for stock taking. So whenever inventory internal transfers are needed, so we are planning to develop such an AI